Do remember to follow us on social media. My personal handle on Twitter is @Denana Aisha. Let's start with the office of the special prosecutor that says it is still investigating the former sanitation minister Cecilia Dapaah in connection with her alleged stolen cash from her Abilinkwe home. 5 people, including 2 domestic workers, are in court over the alleged theft in the former minister's house. Since news broke of the incident, there's been heightened public commentary and interest in related developing issues. Big among the developments has been Cecilia Dapaah's arrest, search of her home, and further discovery of a significant amount of money there. She was subsequently granted bail by the OSP. A statement issued by the Office of the Special Prosecutor this afternoon to update the public on actions taken so far assures the public that the OSP is still conducting investigations into the matter and will brief the public on any further development. It says that the investigations into the suspected corruption and corruption-related offences involving former Minister Sanitation and Water Resources Cecilia Dapaah in respect of the large cash sums reportedly stolen from her house began Thursday. And the OSP has since then taken a number of steps and actions, including placing Ms. Dapaah under arrest and conducting searches at 2 residential properties associated with her. The OSP is still conducting its investigation. The public will be briefed on the outcome of the investigation when it is concluded, including any further steps the office may take. Meanwhile, politicians have been asked to stop talking and act on the passage of the Conduct of Public Officers Bill 2022 into law to help prevent the issue of public officers having unexplained wealth, with the laws of the country seemingly impotent in dealing with it. There has been an intense pressure mounting on government for passage of the law, which has been in and out of Parliament for almost a decade since news broke that former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapaah has been holding both local and foreign cash in her Abilinkwe residence. The bill is expected to amend and help strengthen the current public officers' asset declaration regime. The current Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets and Disqualification Act 1998 Act 550 allows public officers to extend the period of asset declaration by 6 months, a situation many describe as a flagrant violation of Article 2861 of the 1992 Constitution. Director for Advocacy and Policy Engagement at CDD Ghana, Kojo Pumpuni Asante, says the passage of that bill into law is long overdue.
I think the bill has been in and out of Parliament, I think, for over a decade now. It's for me, it's very, very urgent because it tries to address a huge gap in our, anti-corruption architecture, particularly our laws around public ethics. There are many acts and behaviors of public office holders which are not codified in law. They are blatantly wrong. If you look at many jurisdictions, these actions are prohibited. But in our case, the laws are either inadequate or they are not clear and clarified. So when these things happen, there's always a debate as to whether any law has been broken. If you remember the cash for seats saga that was interrogated in Parliament, and so on and so forth. Anybody that you discuss the story with will see that there's something, not right about the action of the public office holders involved, and yet you couldn't find a clear prohibition, in our criminal code or in other laws. So this aims to address that. So it brings together asset declaration issues, which already has a lot of deficits, conflict of interest issues, nepotism issues, undue influence, gift giving, all these things that, basically, if you take any corruption case, there are elements of all of these things scattered, which is almost like the foundation or the trigger for corruption in our country. So really, it's a very, very important law. It will codify the scope for addressing public integrity or public ethics for everyone, so that there's some clarity as to what the offense is and what punishments we should be putting in place. The Attorney General was one of the key promoters of the bill. He submitted it into cabinet, and even when we had an opportunity to meet the president as Citizen Coalition, we reiterated this call for this to be done. And it seems that even now that it's become an IMF condition, there's still a dragging of the feet. So for me, politicians have to stop talking and act. If they are serious about dealing with this, then we have gone well past, political promises.
Where are we with this bill, and when will Parliament get to work on it and pass it into law? Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Sante has been updating us on that.
That bill is not currently before Parliament. It has gone through the Office of the Attorney General. It has gone before Cabinet, and the expectation is that as the pressure keeps mounting from civil society organizations, government will put that bill before Parliament for approval. But to the crux of your question, what this bill seeks to do is to prescribe how officers can act. For instance, in procurement, can officers of the state or ministers, public officers, if they have a certain interest in a certain business, can this business apply for a certain contract within the organization, for instance? That bill seeks to do that. It seeks to generally detail how public officers must conduct themselves, even in terms of advertising, in terms of how these public officers use the public offices to their own benefit. There have been consistent calls by civil society over the past few weeks and over the past few months, especially on the back of this Cecilia Dapaah saga, that there is that need for the public officers bill to come before Parliament for the House to approve it, so that public officers can have a specific code of conduct that guides their conduct. Currently, there is no such thing that guides them except for a few laws that have been made already in existence and the general idea of what corruption is and what public officers cannot do. So currently, there's no such bill before the House, and we expect that with Cabinet completing its work, as the Attorney General has repeated, it will come before the House. There was one in 2013 that was brought before Parliament by the John Dramani Mahama administration, but that is no longer in use because government is seeking to bring in a new bill for that purpose. So, Aisha, generally, what this bill seeks to do is to draw the contours of how public officers can act and how they cannot act. This will prescribe clearly certain things that they do that may inure to their benefit, but that may not inure to the benefit of the state. They cannot use their public office to do things that inure to their own benefit without the state benefiting. And so the Code of Conduct of Public Officers is such a crucial piece of legislation that is expected to come. But I should say that Parliament is expected to rise next week. Even if it came this week or the next, it will not be passed unless it came under a certificate of urgency. And so the civil society pressure is now getting to government, and we expect that it will react in the coming days.
Let's stay a while longer in Parliament because the Boako South MP Samuel Atachia will lead a 7-member ad hoc committee of Parliament to probe a recently leaked tape which allegedly revealed a conspiracy by a senior police officer and a leading member of the NPP to remove IGP Dr. George Akufo-Dampare and rig the 2024 elections. Former Deputy Interior Minister and MP for Bolsa North James Agalga will serve as Deputy Chair of the committee. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Sante once again reports.
The delay in this committee commencing work was due to the delay on the part of leadership on both sides to submit the names of the members of this committee to the Speaker. With that out of the way now, the Speaker announced the composition of this committee to the House.
The special committee will be chaired by Honorable Ata Achia, and with him from the majority side are Honorable Yaobuama and Honorable Ophelia Mensah. On the minority side, we have the Vice Chair, Honorable James Agalga, and with him are Honorable Eric Opoku and Honorable Peter Lanchine Tubu. The technical person is a lawyer, a human rights expert, in the name of Dr. Isaac Lati Annan.
Given that time is of the essence in this matter, leadership on both sides haggled on the time frame needed for this work.
On the face of it, given the gravity of the issue at stake, I would suggest that one week may not be adequate. 1 week may not be adequate. So let's give them sufficient time to work on it and report to us. Maybe when we resume. Unfortunately,
I think the 1 week is a bit too short. I know the 1 week would have met our what is left for us this period, but then it will surely be too short to deal with, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin then ruled that the work must be completed by 10th September 2023.
We could call on the committee to do on a thorough job and to report when we return in before the end of September. Yes. So I will specifically state that the committee should submit a report by 10th September.
At the time, the Speaker of Parliament admitted that request by the minority to investigate the leaked tape, some sort of terms of reference was agreed on, about 6 of them, mainly to inquire into the authenticity, to make suggestions for punishment for the persons involved on that leaked tape. But it appears both leaders agree that some new terms of reference must be worked on, and it's expected that by the close of day today, that terms of reference would have been agreed on between the new members of this committee, the leadership, and the Speaker on the other hand, so that the committee can get to work expeditiously. We await for the committee to first meet, decide the modalities of their sittings, the kinds of persons they would want to invite to serve as witnesses to the committee, and also, quite importantly, whether or not this sitting will be in public, because the public is really interested in this matter and expect to hear exactly what the witnesses will tell the committee. And so we expect that since the Speaker of Parliament has given a committee up to the 10th of September to bring its reports to the House, this committee will work expeditiously to do this. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
Away from Parliament, the executive arm of government, both past and present, representatives of the legislature and the Chief Justice, as well as other high-profile statesmen and women are attending and addressing the 2023 National Development Conference underway at the Church of Pentecost Dome at Gomuafete. The conference, themed Moral Vision for National Development, is expected to set the agenda for the need to uphold morality in fostering development in Ghana. Listen to Chief Justice Getro Tokono and the Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin on the significance of the conference.
Tandem with the words of the Apostle Paul in Colossians chapter 1 verse 9. I have not ceased to rejoice and give thanks to God since the day I heard of the convening of this national conference to consider the intertwining of moral vision with national development by the Church of Pentecost. I am particularly grateful for the kind invitation and the opportunity to contribute thoughts at this August gathering of the leadership of our beloved country. When all legal principles and edicts have been shown of their surrounding words and numberings, when we take away the article this and the number this and the section this, it is clear that the constitutional mandate given to the judiciary in Article 125 of the 1992 Constitution to administer justice requires us to maintain and enforce the highest standards of ethical conduct in the nation on one hand, and uphold the innate need of the human soul for justice on the other hand. This is a duty that the judiciary shares with the church as an institution. Justice is a sine qua non for peace, stability, and quality of life in any nation. In words attributed to Pope John Paul II, if you want peace, work for justice, unquote. A nation that loses interest in the rule of law and delivery of justice is one that sets itself up for destruction. Thus, a quest for justice, an investment in building the pillars of justice in any nation, is a quest to ensure that prosperity will come to the people. For there can be no prosperity without peace, and there can be no peace unless people are assured that their rights will be upheld and they will not be robbed of their entitlements. This, among other reasons, is a reason why I am exceptionally glad that this conference is addressing the matter of good governance and national development as a model enabled only by moral vision.
Gertrude Araba Esaba Saki Tokono, Chief Justice of Ghana. She has more names than me. His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, former President of the Republic of Ghana, whose reign saw me as the opposition leader in Parliament. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former President of the Republic of Ghana, to effective leadership. That is why basic principles of leadership talks about the 3 C's: character, competence, and care. Good character builds trust. Without trust, people will never follow you. And without followers, obviously, one cannot lead. It will be a walk in the park. Therefore, effective leadership requires integrity. As leaders, particularly political leaders, we must be willing to be held accountable for our actions and inactions. We must conduct ourselves in a manner that is beyond the behavior of Pompey's wife. That is beyond reproach.
Since the cessation of collection of road tolls in the country in November 2021, many of the booths have deteriorated, with some fast becoming bedrooms for squatters and the mentally ill. The Ashaman Toll Plaza in the Ashaman municipality of the Greater Accra region is one of such booths that has been turned into a sleeping place for some unidentified persons. Carlos Kaloni of Joy News reports from Ashaman.
Since the decommissioning of toll booths across the country, many of such toll booths have become a pale shadow of themselves. One of such toll booths is the one here at the Ashaman toll booth. It has become the bedroom for many miscreants. And so this one, for instance, has no lock. As you can see, it's open ajar. We will go inside to look at the state of this very place. Now, as you can see we see this place has become like a sleeping place for someone who we are told comes here from time to time. You can see the person's dress or shirt on the bed. And then if we look beneath here, you can see the mosquito coil that he burns. Now, he leaves it this way, and he goes out and comes back as and when he likes.
I'm a newspaper seller. So when I come here, I saw a gentleman coming from the toll booths inside. They says okay, they say they should use it as a toilet and that, but he uses as it's in this in room. Then he come out, then piss, then he go out. For what he's doing there, I don't know. Then every time, then he come back, then he come and sleep. Because they say they should use it as a toilet and we need this thing room, but the guy is using it as this thing in bedroom. He to sleep there early morning. I saw newspaper, so I was here 6 o'clock to 6:30, and I saw him coming out of the room.
And at the same time, I put down for so at the house. And as I say, as the cost was the Matobu, as the cost was the motor rider. The Funa Mapa General Hospital, more than 50 or more many years that you are. Near Mijinazi, the Funa Mapa men's Richmond, the very Richmond, or more was in our family advisor. The Funa Mapa said they are put to my general hospital, more than 50. And then for so better has it. But for one of the problem, two boots now, or my good. Omaguna yinyanse abanye srabane se wodo konfa light ni emebubum se de be save life the light ni as in overspeed who the kwan na wani mo no edaso nto bobo overspeed is before no mo no ma ba be and then 2 days we ni kunu ni ba ni pa 3 o mbe yu.
Efforts to reach officials of the Roads and Highways Authority on the situation have all proved futile. We certainly will engage them as soon as we are successful in reaching them. Let's get on to other stories. Anger and frustrations swell among motorists and residents of Dowenya and its environs in the Nungo Prampram district of the Greater Accra region as construction of the Tema Central University Road is impeded with never-ending gridlock. Commuters say they are compelled to endure hours of delays on a route that should take 15 minutes to cross. The angry commuters blame the phenomenon on the stalling of work on the construction of the 17-kilometer long Dapaah Phase 1 project. My colleague Carlos Kaloni again visited the stretch and has come through with this report.
To ease the daily gridlock on the stretch, the government, through the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Ghana Highways Authority, in June 2022 commenced the expansion of the 17-kilometer-long Tema to Central University section of the N1 highway, expected to last for 18 months. 1 year on, residents and motorists say their lives have been negatively impacted due to the stagnation of construction works on the stretch.
We just saw some few works since then. Nothing on the main road, nothing has gone on. And the traffic jam here starts as early as 5:30. We see so much cars come together in the traffic. And instead of 2 minutes drive from, let's say, Savannah to Barrier, you spend like, I think, barely 2 to 3 hours. Even the inside roads that we use, they are very rough. And there are traffics even in the inside roads that we use.
For now, they have stopped. And then they have even moved some of their machines. We don't know where they have sent it to. So if you ask me, as at now that I speak to you, there's no construction going on the road. Either they have stopped or not, I can't speak to that fact. But if you ask me, there's no construction going on. Even their machines are no longer on the road.
A tour of the site shows total stagnation of construction work. As you can see, this is one of the 3 interchanges that the contractor is actually working on the Dawenya to Tama road, which is part of the 160-kilometer long Tama to Aflao Phase 1 project. Now, this site, as you can see behind me, the earth-moving machines have been left here unattended to. No activity at all is ongoing at the site. This is just the mirror of all the other sites on this particular stretch. There's supposed to be 3 interchanges and a walkway around Dawenya. But a visit to all of the sites shows that work has stalled. Even though heavy police presence is felt on the stretch, their impact on traffic flow is minimal. Meanwhile, apart from drivers, business owners are part of those bearing the brunt of the stalled project. As you can see, Margaret goes through this on a daily basis anytime she's trying to access her office or her shop upstairs. So we're going to find out from Margaret what she goes through on daily basis regarding the stagnation of construction works here.
When I'm coming, I find it difficult to come to this place because they've dig a hole which leads to my office. And then before you can climb up, you have to jump before you climb up. Looking at the place, those people that sell water and then food, you can't get. So when you are coming, you have to hold your food and then the water. So when I'm coming and then things are on me, trying to access my office is very, very difficult for me.
Apart from your personal struggles, how is it affecting your client?
Okay, as you can see, the place is very, very bushy, and when it rains, it's the whole place is flooded, and then if you are at the top there, you won't be able to even come down because the place will be very, very flooded, and then the place is bushy, so customers are not able to locate us at the top. They've even moved their machines that they are using to work to different places. It's like they've stopped doing everything. I would want them to, if they are coming to construct the road, they should continue for us because it's really, really affecting us and the business. And even people used to be here, but now they've all moved because of how the place is. They've all moved.
All right, thank you so much. So that is the story from Margaret, just one of the hundreds of residents who go through this particular challenge on daily basis due to the stagnation of construction work on this particular stretch. They actually appealing to the Ministry of Roads and Highways as well as the Ghana Highways Authority to, as a matter of urgency, speed up to come back to site to complete this particular road. Reporting from Dawenya here in the Ningo Pram Pram district, my name is Carlos Kaloni for Joy News.
In Accra, in the studio in Kokomlemle, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. And inhabitants of Dagomba line in the Sokori Mampo municipality have accused the police in Kumasi of extortion under the guise of regular troops. They claim the police officers charge as much as 500 cedis per each suspect arrested in such swoops, which have led to the loss of 2 lives in the past years. The residents are also agitated over the arrest of innocent people in the police operations. Nana Ojima has been interacting with some victims and has filed this report.
The Gomba line is probably the biggest slum in the Ashanti region, with dwellers scattered along a part of Kumasi's main rail line. It is hub of scrap dealers. Like other slums in the country, there are suspected criminals and drug peddlers taking shelter here. The police often undertake swoops when they pick information on suspects, but some residents are agitated by the violent and arbitrary conduct of swoops. Ali is a scrap dealer who has lived in the slum for decades. 3 weeks ago, he was arrested in a swoop, but he claims to be innocent of engaging in drugs.
I
was on a bench in front of my shop with my girlfriend. I saw people run to my direction, but continued to sit. One of them arrested me and started searching me for drugs, but they did not find any on me. One of the officers told them to arrest me, though they did not find anything on me.
After spending 3 nights in police cell, he was bailed by his brother.
When my brother came to bail me, he was told that the officer in charge is out. So one of them took 20 cedis to place a call to the officer in charge. He then charged us 500 Ghana cedis, but after negotiations, they accepted 400 Ghana cedis.
His story is corroborated by many in the community.
They will bring maybe 3 or 4 of them. They will just park at the top, and they will come arrest people, whether you are suspect or not. They will just arrest you and take you when you just pass into there's some call. They will ask you, do you have money in you? Do you have money on you? When you say yes, they will say, if you don't have money, you have mobile money, or you can call someone to come and bail you. If the person is truth, you arrest the person, just take the person to court. They won't do that. They will just ask you, do you have money on you? As on many occasions.
So the police have been coming here to extort you?
Yes! Yes!
Now, when I go bail you bisada, and I saw go to escamo ya bail you bisada.
So who say me say I go bail you. If you say
so you've paid money for someone to be released.
A lot. Yes. Bebre.
We no muchia. Ebia mina metong no mwachi win. Omaji misika okona big omajami.
When they arrest marijuana from a dealer, they go ahead and sell to another.
Let's do some health. Starting 2024, all babies are expected to be vaccinated against hepatitis B. That's contained in the latest framework of the Ghana Health Service as it ramps up its fight against the growing number of cases in the country. Director General for the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumaboaje, said all infants will be administered the hepatitis B vaccine within 24 hours of birth. He was speaking at the launch of this year's World Hepatitis Day. There's more in this report.
Hepatitis B is a serious inflammation of the liver caused by the hepatitis B virus. Globally, it is estimated that around 3 million individuals live with hepatitis B and another 71 million live with hepatitis C. In Ghana, unfortunately, the diagnosis and treatment of viral hepatitis remain at alarmingly low levels. This is primarily due to a lack of awareness and high cost of treatment. At the press launch for this year's World Hepatitis Day, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumaboaje, stated that in an effort to meet the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals for hepatitis, they will begin the vaccination of newborns against the hepatitis B infections starting next year.
Recognizing the growing burden of hepatitis, we have as a country and as part of the SDG containment drive set out to diagnose 90% of hepatitis B and C cases and put 80% on treatment by the year 2030. Again, all pregnant women living with chronic hepatitis B are to have access to treatment, while all infants will receive hepatitis B vaccine at birth, within 24 hours of birth, to prevent infection. Recent maternal hepatitis B sero-survey has yielded concrete results to inform decisions on hepatitis B birth dose, and very soon, HBV birth dose will be introduced in Ghana.
Patrick Kumabuaje is Director General of the Ghana Health Service. Let's take a break on Joy News today. When we return, we'll bring you business. But before that, take a look.
This is the state of my class in Tampon North. In fact, SBA school. Yeah, we are just taking over the whole class. Look at the children climbing on top of their decks. Yeah, some are even on top of the roof. Yeah, just to get shelter. In fact, this is disheartening. Myself, I've climbed on top of a chair, and looking at it, in fact, it's not easy at all. Yeah, in fact, we are just looking for corporate body to come and assist us. The rate at which the rain is entering into our classroom is disheartening. In fact, look at how the whole place has been flooded. In fact, myself, just to take shelter, I'm on top of a chair. Yes. And then the water under it is too much. It's undescribable. In fact, the children themselves are screaming here and there, looking for shelter. In fact, we are pleading with you. All those who have the financial capability, please, we are pleading that just assist us from this mess. It is too much. It is too much. Look at the children. Some of them on top of the wall. Yes, look round. In fact, it is disheartening. This is too much for us. This is too much. SBA school. It is too much. It is too much.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. The United States of America Poultry and Egg Export Council organized a two-day training workshop for 100 culinary students from technical universities across the country. The program by the American-based Poultry and Advocacy NGO aims at educating the culinary students on poultry and various aspects of culinary arts.
The USA Poultry and Egg Exports Council organized a training program of culinary skills as part of its latest campaign objective to educate technical university students on poultry. Speaking at the event, account executive for Sub-Saharan Africa for the council, Rose Queiroz, revealed that this is part of efforts by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to support Ghana's poultry industry and agriculture sector as a whole.
We have tried. Unfortunately, what the problem is in most of sub-Saharan countries is the cost of feed is very expensive because you use it mainly for as a staple meal in Africa. So feed is very expensive and vaccines are very expensive. So that becomes difficult. Where we can assist is by assisting with doing programs like this. This is a very successful program, and this is where we assist to promote people to then go onto either farming or become world-renowned chefs one day, and that is the way that we assist.
The two-day hands-on training program aims to drive chicken consumption and give the top 10 students from technical universities an opportunity to compete against each other. Internationally renowned chef David Bonham has been training the students.
In the United States, it's a little more established in terms of it's sort of a European style, where as opposed to here where it's more local. And it's interesting because I was very impressed with their skills. Knife skills were very good. their knowledge of the classics were very great, and you need that basis. So one of the things that I try to impress to the kids, when I say kids, young men and women, because they're 19, 20, 21, that to think outside the box.
The winner of the American Chicken Cooking Competition 2021, Jonathan Gabriel Lamy, stated that the competition changed his life and boosted his business.
Now, Mayor of Houston in the U.S., Sylvester Turner, has been engaging with the American Chamber of Commerce, Ghana, as part of his visit to the country. Here's more.
The minister stated that the country's manufacturing space is full of huge opportunities for investment across all areas. Referring to the historical warm relations between Ghana and the United States, the minister further noted that the role played by the United States government in supporting Ghana's economy over the years has been key to economic growth.
We in Ghana pride ourselves to be the best that African can put on the exhibition. We say we have the best ambience to do business. We have the human resource capacity. We have the appropriate legislature. We have put together the best that any investor would be happy to have.
And that's all for business for now. I am Pius Kojo Bakadaro. Will be here at 1 p.m. with the marketplace. Sports is next.
Let's do sports now on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, has revealed that his outfit owes former Black Stars coaches Milovan Raivat and CK Akuno. The duo are owed about $600,000 following the decision of the Ghana Football Association to terminate their contracts. The minister made the revelation during a meet the press at the Ministry of Information earlier today.
For your information, we have not paid, we still owe Milovan. All of CK Akuno and Milovan, once their contract was terminated, we sat with them, negotiated their exit, and CK was paid $100,000 immediately after the negotiation, just as Milovan as well. We still owe both of them, and we are in the process. We have payment schedule, of which I will admit we have not been followed the payment schedule because of constraints of funds. But as and when we get funds, we'll be paying the two coaches. Both of them have written to the FA threatening to go to court. We have appealed to them that we are committed in making sure that we settle whatever that we have agreed with them. But both of them have received, just as CK and both of them have received $100,000. For the information, I want to clear the air. We have not finished paying Milovan. Milo, the one we know, Milo, we have not finished paying him.
Still, on the Minister of Youth and Sports, he also spoke about how much will be required for Ghana to successfully organize the Africa Games 2023. The competition, which is expected to start on March 8, 2024, would cost the country about $145 million. But he says there is a possibility that that money could increase.
On the cost for organizing the African Games, I cannot give you the total cost now because as we are going, we have the software and we have the hardware. The hardware have to do with the construction of the facility. Those one has been awarded, they are public information. Contractor UK, which is developing all the other sporting infrastructure, is $145 million US. We have Legon Sports Facility. The rugby field is going to be the best rugby field in West Africa once it's completed. We also have, when it comes to African Games or Olympic Games, each facility that you are developing, you are going to do it too. So we are developing a warm-up track just close by the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, which is by the requirement should be 5 meters away from the main bowl. So everything that you are doing it twice. The swimming pool, for example, we have swimming pool in the Trust Emporium, but it doesn't meet the international standard. Why? Because you have no warm-up pool. So this time, once we finish the 10-lane competition pool will be a world-class swimming pool. And Swimming Federation, or now called World Aquatic Federation, can organize their World Championship in Ghana once this facilities is done. And we are in touch with the World Aquatic Federation to do so. And apart from that, the multi-purpose hall we are going to develop once we finish all the other federations, indoor games, basketball, volleyball, handball, they will be organizing their championship. We will drive more traffic. That's why I said we are positioning Accra as the sports hub within the West Africa region.
That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com and also at 2 p.m. when we come your way with sports today.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. And our celebrated Ghanaian actor Ajete Annan has urged young people in the creative arts industry to learn the ropes of the job. He told Kwame Dazi in an interview on Joy FM's Showbiz A to Z that a lot of people, especially the young creatives, have neglected the business aspect of showbiz. He noted that the only way this could be solved is for them to take their time to learn.
Before you can make business out of something, then you have to be baked. You know, you can be in a certain craft and not be baked. People come to my DMs and they say they're so passionate about acting. Give me a chance and I'll prove it. Sometimes I just take a stroll to the social media spaces, and all I see is just selfies of their food, their designer wears. I'm like, if you say you're so passionate about this that you're talking about, let me see something that you posted out there. Let the world know that, oh, you have a talent, you have a gift in there. Make noise about it. The platform we're underutilizing it. And for young people with so much potential, we have to see what you can offer. There are people who have made breakthroughs like that. And so they have to learn to stay in the process. People want to jump overnight to be a Nadia Buhari overnight or a Jackie Pia overnight without knowing that you need to invest in the craft. You need to take your time. We started learning that the late Solomon Sampers, Abil Kynes. When we got to National Theatre, when I saw the likes of David Donta, I was marveled, but they put me backstage for a purpose. I didn't like it because I was like, this is a fine opportunity to be on stage with the big guys, but they were training me in terms of stage construction for me to even understand how actors can relate to stage and why are they choosing the colors that they're choosing, why are the flats done this way. I needed to understand that before they brought me into the area where, you know, I had the skill in. And so if you don't have patience and humble enough to learn all these processes, you get there to the top and they throw something, you know, an assignment at you, and then you crumble.
There's more showbiz news in our subsequent bulletins. That'll be all for showbiz here on Joy News today. Good afternoon to you, Aisha.
Good afternoon to you, beautiful Becky. That's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories, and you would see headlines including where the Akufo-Addo that led the Kumipreko demonstration in Sako quizzes, and you would also see 7 out of 22 sports disciplines to serve as qualifiers for 2024 Olympics. Enjoy the rest of our program.
Peace.
Hi, Lady. Bye.